could accept the fact that this city is headed for a disaster of biblical proportions. What he means is Old Testament. Yeah, Mayor. Real wrath of God type stuff. Fire and brimstone coming down from the skies. Rivers and seas boiling. 4 years of darkness, earthquakes, volcanoes. The sea rising from the grave. Human sacrifice, dogs and cats living together. That's hysteria.
Broadcasting live from the WDCE studios out of the University of Richmond, you're listening to 90.1 FM from the most trusted puppet in media. Reporting since Roswell, I'm Sam Newsman, and this is Saturday morning. I want to thank everyone for listening to the show. We're broadcasting live, WDCE 90.1 FM. That's the radio. And of course, we're simulcasting, setting the standard, raising the bar like we always do. Broadcasting on, we have two Sam cams running up this morning. We have one over here on Instagram. That one is live. And then also this one right here on YouTube. Yeah, so shout out to the people who are already in here on YouTube, Jesse and the Tarot of Titano. Hello, good morning, guys. And of course, some other people will be coming up. Kurt Kenobi, yes, good morning. I see you over there on the Instagram feed as well. Yes, of course, I am able to interact with the chats. There's the YouTube chat, and then there's also the Instagram chat. I'm able to see both of them very clearly this morning. Sometimes I'm not able to see those. However, I am here. People are probably wondering, well, Sam, can I see you? Yes, you can. Once again, at Sam Newsman on Instagram, at Sam Newsman here on YouTube to see me. But of course, you can always just listen to me as well. Shout out to Cato, just saw you here. Animal Mother Customs. Yes, I want to try to shout out everybody that I can. Of course, once again, broadcasting on both Instagram and YouTube. The YouTube feed, you'll be able to hear the phone calls a little bit better, I believe, than you will on the Instagram feed. But of course, shout out to all of you guys that are out there and the many other people that will pop in here in just a few moments. Some other things that we got going on. Yes, of course. Yes, the phone number 804-289-UR90, 804-289-8790 if you want to call into the show. The phone lines will be open up after the next segment. So the next broadcast segment, then the phone lines will go up. But just giving you the number now, so don't call just yet. Have to wait. Of course, Deep Cut Dave always lined up first, so he does have a connection. So, of course, Dave, I know that you're out there, so I'm sure that you will be calling here in just a few moments. Now, a couple of things here that I want to talk about. Yes, politics and pints. Politics and pints. You know what, John Reed and Jeff Katz. I should mess up their names. Because everybody always messes up mine. Everybody always says that I'm Sam the Newsman. It's not Sam the Newsman. It just happens that Newsman is my last name. I know it's prophetic. It's prophetic, but I want to say that everything is quite possibly going to just be okay as long as people get my name correct. Yeah, Sam Newsman, not Sam the Newsman, but John Reed, Jeff Katz, and the folks over at WRVA, 1140 a.m. They're hosting this event over at the Ashland Theater. Yeah, the center of the universe. That's the first time in about, 3 years since they've done that. And of course, me, your amazing, unofficial, official media puppet correspondent will be there asking people coming in and coming out just what they think of the election. Yes, there's an election on Tuesday. Not that it really matters, but, of course, if people want to go into a booth and punch a little thing and think that their voice actually matters when they're not actually going to the $5,000 a plate dinners for these people. So what was that? The red wave. I don't know anything about a red wave, but I got a blue wave. No, not a blue. Well, just a wave. Just a wave. Okay, how about a wave? There you go. Well, I'm waving. There you go. I'm waving at the cameras. And listen, I don't know. We'll talk about that, of course, at the top of the third hour. Yeah, at 11 o'clock, we'll maybe talk about a little bit about what's going on. Senate races and all that jazz. But politics and pints. We'll be broadcasting live, I believe, on TikTok. It'll be our first live TikTok stream. Because normally we're doing the Instagram thing over here, the YouTube thing over here. But if you do have TikTok, get TikTok because we'll be streaming live on TikTok for politics and pints. So just get everybody, just let you know about that. At Sam Newsman on TikTok as well. At Sam Newsman on Twitter. I haven't really posted too much on Twitter just yet. Although I do plan to post more. I do. Yeah, and you know what? I can actually get a blue check mark. All I have to pay is $8 a month. Then I can get verified. Did you hear about that? You know, all of a sudden, all the celebrities are all like, well, I don't want to pay for my blue check mark because I'm special. Oh my God, this just ruins it. No, it's called capitalism, you morons. And it's called more, Jesse, the early voting ends today. Well, at least here in Virginia, it ends today. So if it ends where you are, I'm not sure. What are my thoughts on cartoons of the 90s and the 2000s? Well, I'll get to that in just a few moments. But as of right now, I want to talk about, well, like I said, a lot of stuff going on. A lot of stuff happening. Oh, did you listen to the Halloween broadcast? We were able to take the Halloween broadcast and put the whole thing up on samnewsman.com. Been a while since we have posted anything, but I figured that if we were to post something, it would be the Halloween special. So if you have not heard the Halloween, I know that Halloween is over. I'm not saying, but if you want to listen to last week's show in its entirety, you can always come over here to YouTube. You can always come over here to YouTube and watch the video segments. But if you want to get the full effect of the radio program, you can listen to it www.samnewsman.com to listen to last week's Halloween show. We'll go ahead and upload this show today. We'll try to upload all these shows here eventually at samnewsman.com. And like I said, you can always go back and watch the video segments on Instagram and here on YouTube after the show is over. So, okay. So what I'll do, any other things that we need to go over? Retro Toy Con. Retro Toy Con in 2 weeks. Retro Toy Con will be in 2 weeks. We'll be there down in Greenville, South Carolina. A couple of interesting people that will be there. The $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, Arthur Burghart. Seen Arthur twice. Probably tell me to shoo away again because, well, let's just, I just bring the heat when it comes to Arthur. Yeah, I just do. Well, I mean, but he does like me. Listen, he did like the fact that I do know how to jazz scat. Skibidi bop bop dooby doo. Well, that impressed him. That did impress him. Who else do we have? Oh, all 4 original voice actors of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cartoon. Yeah, they'll be there as well. And I think, Pixel Dan. Yeah, Pixel Dan. I'll see him again. You met him last year at Retro Toy Con. What a nice guy. The Mr. Rogers of toy collecting, if you will. But yeah, that'll be in 2 weeks. Retro Toy Con. Just keep everything, just keep close ties with me. Once again, at Sam Newsman on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, here on YouTube, possibly Twitch, and www.samnewsman.com. Also on Facebook. Haven't really posted anything on there. Just a couple of pictures. But I mean, there's just so much. There's so much. I need to have my own social media manager. I mean, I should. Because there's just a lot. Listen, when you're a media puppet, you got a lot going on. And so it's just a lot to juggle. It's like juggling flaming chainsaws underwater. Yeah, you know about that, right? Of course, that's what all of you are doing. Juggling flaming chainsaws underwater. So let's see here. Let's see. A couple of other things. No, that's about it, I believe. So, well, people ask what I often do when I show up here early on Saturday mornings. No, it doesn't require 3 minutes of prep time for every 1 minute of show time. No, it's me just grabbing the newspaper, as we have it always here in front of everybody. Grab the newspaper and hot off the press. Well, not this story, but grab the newspaper and just start reading the news. That's because, well, I mean, what else? What else should we do? And last week we were talking about the police chief, the recent police chief that left his stint. And remember, Mayor. Oh God, we hope he's never the governor. Mayor Stoner, of course. Well, I have nothing to do with picking the new one, but here's some recommendations so I can have another police chief that I can throw under the proverbial flaming bus. The flaming bus by the peaceful protesters. Oh, my goodness gracious. Okay, so anyways, last week we were talking about we've had 4 police chiefs in the last 5 years. Is that a record? 4 police chiefs in the last 5 years. And it's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. And Roundhead, shout out to Roundhead Gigashock. And Roundhead, you didn't miss anything. Well, you didn't miss my beautiful voice starting off the show in the program. But you said so. Like I said, we want to follow up with this story here about the police chiefs, the police chiefs that what has happened. So here we go. Like I said, Richmond Times Dispatch. This was here from Wednesday, but I kept it. I wanted to hold on to it for today's opening segment, just because that's what we talked about last week. And, of course, leave it to me to do what I'm supposed to do as a real media puppet, and that's follow up on what we already talked about. That's called following up. A lot of places don't do that anymore. And of course, if you are a major publication like the New York Times or the Washington Post, when you follow up and correct yourself, you just put it on the back page in a very small section, even though the original story was on the front page. It was like, oh my gosh, this is what happened. You hear about an NBC? NBC, they took the Pelosi thing down from their from their website. Said it didn't meet the journalistic standards. Yeah, well, it's because no one's ever answered me why the guy was in his underwear with a hammer. That's what I want to know. But anyways, back to, of course, the Richmond Times Dispatch. Once again, this is from Wednesday. Holding on to it for today's show. Richmond's chief of police, short stints in a tough job. Yeah, this is by Dave Ress at the Richmond Times Dispatch. In recent times, most who take the position make quick departures. Once again, I said four police chiefs in the last 5 years. That's got to be a record. All right. Once upon a time, Richmond's police chiefs came through the ranks and stuck around for a while. The last to do so, Frank Dulling, began a 21-year run as chief in 1967 after a start walking the beat in the Fan District in 1944. And later leading gambling room raids through upper story windows with a cherry picker. But with one exception, Richmond's police chiefs for more than 2 decades have come from elsewhere, and none have lasted in the job anywhere as long as Dulling. All face some tough criticisms and oftentimes grumbling from the rank and file. Chief Gerald Smith resigned last week, saying, "I have had my challenges and have made some mistakes." But giving no reason for his decision. Well, I can tell you what the reason for his decision was. It was back on July 4th that he had a press conference saying that there was going to be a mass shooting at Dogwood Dell. Yeah, Dogwood Dell being a park here in Richmond, saying there was going to be a mass shooting. It was where they, set off fireworks and have a lot of people, families and stuff. And they said, well, we've thwarted this mass shooting that's going to happen. And of course, there was never any mass shooting that happened. When the judge sat there and said, "Hey, do you have any evidence for that?" They're like, "No, we don't have any evidence for that. We're not going to let we're not also going to let the media have access to FOIA request or anything. We're not going to do any of that. No. It's got to be." And of course, Mayor Stoner at the same time is sitting there saying, "No, we can't talk about this, and we're just going to move on from this now." And because all they wanted to do was just raise their profile. They wanted to raise their profile, and they wanted to get some a pat on the back, if you will, a pat on the back, and say, "Oh, well, look what we've done. This is what we've done. This is what's happened." And of course, in the process, just it's looking completely ridiculous because there was no evidence. They just made it up. Nothing really happened. Ridiculous. And of course, now the police chief, as of last week, resigned. So now interim chief Rick Edwards, a career Richmond Police Department officer, maybe he should be the police chief moving forward. I mean, he has been a career Richmond police officer. So why not? Why not? I mean, at least he was here. Dulling was here, started in 1944, became police chief in 1967. Why not? Why not Chief Rick Edwards, interim chief? They call him interim chief, and they're going to sit there and bring somebody else in. One of their buddies, one of the good old boys. Of course, here now I'm advocating for Rick Edwards. No, I don't know Rick Edwards, but I'm just sitting there saying if he's been a career Richmond police officer, he probably knows the beat a lot better than some other Joe Schmo that's going to come from somewhere else that's just going to leave after Mayor Stoner throws him under the bus like all the other ones. Remember, 5 police chiefs in the last 4 years, right? No, 4 police chiefs in the last 5 years. Yeah, whatever. It's just a lot. Anyway, so he will be the 5th top cop since 2018. So 5 in the last 4 years. Yeah. So Edwards is the fifth chief, interim chief now, since the last 5 years, since 2018. It's a tough gig. Mayor LeVar Stoner cut short the city's usual vetting procedure to bring Smith in from the Charlotte Mecklenburg Police in North Carolina in June 2020. Uh, let's see here. Um, oh, yes, yeah, that was Gerald Smith. See, yeah. So, yeah, he brought in Smith from the Charlotte Mecklenburg Police in North Carolina in June 2020 when long-serving RPD officer William Blackwell asked to be relieved of his assignment as interim chief just after 11 days on the job. I mean, can you imagine that? Can you imagine that? All of a sudden, it's like, hey, I've had this interim job for 11 days, and the guy's like, I'm out of here. I'm out of here. He's out. Blackwell had stepped in when Stoner asked for and received the resignation of William Smith, the one chief to come up through the RPD ranks. So we had another Smith before this Smith. There's always a Smith around. There's always some kind of Smith. But yeah, so then now all of a sudden we have, like I said, we've had 5 police chiefs since 2018. And well, listen, hopefully this guy, Mr. Edwards, Chief Edwards, maybe he'll last longer than 11 days. Has it been over 11 days already? I guess so. I guess he's already broken that record. So good for him. Maybe we should give him another badge, maybe a plaque, something on the wall, just because, remember, it's a tough job. It's a tough job. Well, yeah, when you're told to go and make stuff up on a podium, just to gain more credibility, and there's no evidence. The judge asked for evidence. The media is asking for evidence. Nobody has any evidence. Well, then all of a sudden, it's like, well, got your hand caught in the cookie jar, didn't you? Like, so when is the mayor ever going to be held responsible for any of this, right? I think last week we were talking about how the former mayor and former governor, Douglas Wilder, was saying how the state needs to actually get involved with the crime here that's happening in Richmond. Like I said, the Richmond crime is back to where it almost once was. We used to be the capital, murder capital here in the country. Yeah. Take that, Chicago and Baltimore. Yeah, I guess something to be proud of. But anyway, so here we go. Like I said, that was from the Richmond Times-Dispatch back on Wednesday. Wanted to just follow up, of course, on the whole, the whole police chief thing. It's very sad. It's very sad. No, I don't like to go out at night. No, I don't. Nope, I kind of stay inside now. Yep, stay outside, stay inside and far away from the city. Yeah, that's where I'm at. I'm not anywhere close to this place. And even then, during the day, you probably have to look over your shoulder. Yeah, but as far as going out for the day, it is beautiful outside. The weather outside has been absolutely incredible. I believe 80 degrees here today. What's going on? Global warming. That's what's going on. Global warming. Because it's November. And of course, in November, it's supposed to be cold and you're supposed to be outside raking leaves. But now everybody, it seems like they're at the beach. Or at least I would be at the beach if I didn't have to be here on the radio. But of course, I'm doing my duty to all of you. A public service, if you will, as I'm here broadcasting live. But anyways, like I said, broadcasting live on Instagram, broadcasting live here on YouTube, and the YouTube feed is a little bit better, just because I believe I have the microphone positioned to where it can pick up the phone calls. I'm not sure how good you'll be able to pick up the phone calls here. Waiting for Deep Cut Dave to punch him into the board here real quick, because I have a couple of songs that I want to play. Before going into that, of course, I always like to have Deep Cut Dave call in just to talk about a cartoon or two every morning, because, usually, and of course, people ask what I do here. And what I do is I play cartoon themes out of request. You can always call in to request cartoon themes. Or you can reach out to me directly. I'll play a whole set for you right out of the gate and put them all together. Once again, you just reach out to me and I will play whatever you would like. because of course, Saturday morning, the magic of Saturday morning. Well, this is the only radio show dedicated to the magic and nostalgia of Saturday morning. Well, the Saturday morning cartoons back in the 90s were told by the FCC, get all these letters right, the FCC, that they had to, they had to be more educational programming. And it wasn't until 1996 when the hammer dropped, and then all of a sudden all the cartoons went away, and you had nothing but educational shows and programming. So, of course, now, what we have going on here this morning, we do have Deep Cut Dave here, I believe, on the line. Dave, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Oh, okay. Hold on. Wait a minute. I'm not sure. Oh, wait. Hold on. There we go. There. I'll pat you into the board here. Now, can you hear me now, Dave?
Yeah.
There we go. That's a lot better. Sorry, couldn't get you just right out of the gate. How are you? How are you this morning, Dave? Did you have a great week?
Well, yeah, I've had better, I've had worse.
Okay, so kind of a middle of the road type of week. I'm sure that's like probably the same way with a lot of other people. You're just glad that it's Saturday, but you're not stuck in traffic right now, are you?
No, thank God, no.
No.
Yeah, Halloween was kind of a bust, though.
Halloween? What do you mean it was a bust? Did you not get any candy corn?
No, I didn't, and that's a plus, but I only had like 7 trick-or-treaters total.
7 trick-or-treaters. Well, that's more than me, and that's more than I've had in the last 20 years. I've not had a trick-or-treater come to my door in the last 20 years. So I will say that you are still doing better than me. But what all that means is that you just get to keep the candy for yourself. I mean, that's, there's nothing wrong with that. So.
That's not the reward you think it is, man.
Oh no! Whoa! Did you not get the good kind of candy? What did?
Well, I did, and that's the problem.
Oh, so you gave all of it just to the 7 people?
No, I'll be giving that chunk out at work probably for New Year's.
Oh, so you bought that much candy? Okay, so you thought that there would be big bags. Well, like I said, Christmas is coming up. You can throw it in people's stockings, and that people would like that during the holiday season. Throw it on the table at Thanksgiving as well. So, but Dave, you sent me a couple of songs, and it's interesting. A couple of these songs are these intros are interesting. They some of them might be still Halloween based just a bit. I have Fang Face, Rickety Rocket, but the one that the new Scooby-Doo movies, of course, which I love that. And didn't you love that when they would have all of those celebrities on the? I mean, that was my favorite. Jonathan Winters is the one that comes to mind because I loved that episode. There was also one with Don Knotts and some other people, but that was such a great era of Scooby-Doo when they had these celebrities, and it was always a 2-parter, if I'm not mistaken. And but those were fantastic.
Well, I think it was syndicated in 2 parts. I think it originally aired as like one hour.
Oh, okay, all right, fantastic. Yeah, really, really great. I had not heard that in a while, and so do have that coming up. But the one that you wanted to speak about directly was a cartoon called Vitor, Starfire Champion from 1989, is what I have here in front of me. So could you tell us about, did I say that correctly? Vitor? Is that how you say it?
Yes, you did.
Okay, Vitor, Starfire Champion from 1989. Could you just give us a little bit of an education exactly what this is?
Well, are you familiar with World Event Productions?
Could you go into some detail about that?
Well, there's a company that you may know them best from Voltron.
Okay, yes, I'm familiar with Voltron, yes.
Yeah, Voltron, Saber Rider and the Star Sheriffs.
Oh, yes.
The Last Dinosaur, etc.
Yes.
Well, Vitor was their attempt to do an original show.
Oh, so this is something that they did on their own in-house?
Yeah.
Okay.
No anime, no dubbing. 100% original stuff.
So what is the premise of Vitor Starfire Champion? What is it about?
Well, about a guy named Vitor, and he's the Starfire Champion.
Mm-hmm. What is a Starfire Champion? What is that?
Okay, well, yeah, you might need a little bit more detail on that.
Right.
Basically, Vitor is this kind of like 80s, not quite He-Man. He's got a mullet.
Oh, well, that makes him more powerful than He-Man right out of the gate, as far as I'm concerned. So he's got a mullet. He's got an epic mullet.
Well, basically, it's like the backstory is in days of long ago, there were, I think, either three brothers or just three guys who knew each other. One was like real nature is best, kind of a hippie barbarian. One guy was a scientist, and the other guy, voiced by Peter Cullen, was pretty much pure evil.
Oh, so Optimus Prime was the bad guy in this one.
Yeah, which kind of interesting casting choice. I mean, he's got like just like this super mech armor. He's got green rotting skin, solid yellow eyes, and he betrays them. Who knew?
Yeah. Shock. Now, if Peter Cullen was the voice, did he still just sound like Optimus Prime, or did he have a different voice?
No, he sounds kind of a dark, rumbly.
Gotcha. Now.
But he betrays them, and there's like this ultimate object. It's like a spear stuck on a disc. Well, it gets broken in half. The bad guy gets the orb, and the barbarian hippie, he gets the disc. And he hides the disc, and then his son, Vitor, finds the disc, and the daughter of the scientist, they hook up. It's like, okay, well, you're the hero. You've got to, defeat the bad guy and reunite the ball and the disc.
And how long was this show on air?
4 episodes.
Wow. Whoa. They really nailed it and knocked it out of the park with that, didn't they? Now, did they?
Yeah, well, technically 5. Well, technically it ran for 5 days, but it was only the first 4 episodes, and then Friday was a rerun of the pilot.
And so I'm thinking that if there was only 4 episodes, I guess they did not have an action figure line to accompany this one.
They tried, but no bites. There you go.
Wow, 4 episodes. 4 episodes.
Yeah, I remember it ran on WGN out of Chicago.
Wow. Now was this company, did they do was that here in America that they did this, or was it, did they?
Well, I mean, World Event Productions was based in America, St. Louis, I think.
I just didn't know. During that time, it seemed like there was a lot of contracting that they did out, across the pond for animation and things like that.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I mean, that was pretty. If you wanted a high-end cartoon, you went to Taiwan or Japan.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think. I want to say Vitor was. I want to say either American or maybe French.
Right.
I don't remember.
Well, it just boggles my mind that there was only 4 episodes. That's so I guess no one decided to latch onto that hook. But did you enjoy it? I mean, it was
all right.
It was all right. It was 4 episodes.
He finds this, magic shield, which always saves the day, but only at the end of the episode.
Now, did they give you any type of closure, or did they leave you on a cliffhanger after that 4th episode?
Yeah, no, it was. I mean, it wasn't even like an ending; it just stopped.
Oh man, terrible. Kind of like how they used to have HBO shows. They would sit there and do about 2 or 3 seasons of an HBO show, leave you hanging, and then they wouldn't renew it. Carnival comes to mind when I think about that, but
Yeah.
they do that all the time. Now, of course, got a couple of other things here. Rickety Rocket, Fang Face, as well, and I'm going to play those here in just a moment. Dave, I want to thank you, of course, for calling, giving us the 411. That's information for all of you out there that don't know what that means. Giving us the 411 about Vitor. Of course, I never heard of it, and that's why we have you come on to educate us all with these deep cuts that only last about 4 episodes. So want to thank you for calling in. We'll see you, of course, in 2 weeks, and I'm sure that I'll get some other deep cuts from you this week in an email, and I'll talk to you next week.
You can count on that.
All right, Dave, you have a wonderful weekend, and remember, try not to eat all of that candy, okay?
Okay.
All right, have a good one, Dave.
Hey, man, you too.
Yes, sir. Well, like I said, Deep Cut Dave coming in with the deep cuts. And, well, of course, we're going to be right back here in just a few moments. Going to play some cartoon themes, be back at the top of the hour, talking about the 40th anniversary of G.I. Joe. and a couple of songs and bits and stuff like that for that. So, anyways, like I said, we'll be back at the top of the hour. At Sam Newsman on Instagram, at Sam Newsman here on YouTube. Tell your friends that we're here broadcasting live out of the WDCE studios out of the University of Richmond. You're listening to the only radio show dedicated to the magic of Saturday morning, hosted by me, a real puppet, from the most trusted puppet in media. Reporting since Roswell, I'm Sam Newsman, and this is Saturday Morning.